and I am moderating a session for Babies and More by Woodwards Gripe Water. Today we have with us Mrs. Sakshi Lalwani, who is a healthcare consultant and a nutritionist who has been practicing for so many years now. So today's session will be all about nutritional requirements for winters, for babies and mothers both. Hi Mrs. Sakshi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me with you. I am extremely thrilled and I'm looking forward for all the questions that all the moms have asked. And I hope all these answers will benefit them in some way or the other.
Absolutely. So Sakshi, my first question is what worries so many moms out there is, now that we are enjoying the best season of the year, winters, what health issues do you think kids and infants are facing these days?
Well, if you ask me, stomach issues are something that in toddlers, every parent has a nightmare. So, every child has experienced stomach problems in their lifetime, once, twice, several times. Well, they can experience it due to constipation, or probably they're having some flu or indigestion problems. Other symptoms can be that they have bloating in the tummy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they refuse to have their very special and favorite foods.
I can imagine. I have a 2-year-old at home and I have faced, almost all of these issues as well.
Yes, then they have diarrhea, they can do vomiting, constipation, a lot of things. They always touch their belly all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not speaking, they're just touching their bellies and we know, yes, he has some problem in the tummy.
Yes.
So all of these things can be treated if it's not chronic.
Okay.
Some with some probiotic things or some dietary changes,
okay.
And it's nothing to worry if it's not chronic, and over-the-counter medicines can also have a lot of benefit out of it.
Okay, lovely.
Thank you.
Sakshi, I wanted to know, is a baby's digestive system and winters, are they related? Because what I have heard is their digestive system weakens during the winter. Is that true?
Well, I would not just say that it weakens only in the winter, but yes, it does. So there can be plenty of reasons to actually keep your good health in the gut, because it is home to 70% of your immune system. And so when we eat good, we feel nice, our digestive system is good, then everything in our body works in a good function. So fermented probiotic foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut are probiotic and are rich in a lot of good bacteria, which is good for the gut. Then you can feed your child with a lot of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts and legumes that will top up the fiber content in their gut, which is also good for the digestive system, of course.
Yes.
And a lot of children these days, toddlers especially, are always sitting in front of the television or on their phones.
Yeah.
And this means that there's less movement.
Absolutely.
Which is entirely correlated to the less movement in their digestive system. So nothing is getting digested.
Yes.
Regular exercise is very, very important. No matter how old the child is, he should move, right?
Yes.
And water, of course. So you should include a lot of water drinks.
Okay.
It should not be sugary. It should not be fruit juices, but plain water is also very, very necessary, as it also helps the intestines to eliminate the toxins and the extra food.
Okay. So you heard that, right? Water, probiotics, lot of movements. Tell us a little bit something about, the best time to feed your baby, 6 to 12 months and beyond.
Alright, so when your baby is 6 to 8 months old, feed your baby with soft food about 2 to 3 times in a day.
Okay.
Now, you should not feed her honey until she's an year old.
Yes.
She cannot digest the honey that time. As she tends to increase the solid food in her diet, she should also be given more and more of breast milk for the digestion.
Okay, that's something I'm sure we didn't know about, because we all start weaning by the time your child is 9 months old. That's so informative, Ms. Sakshi.
Thank you. Soul baby, you can start to give him half a cup of food 3 to 4 times a day.
Okay.
Now you can start to chop the food instead of mashing it.
Okay.
And the baby can also try to eat the food with her fingers, and you should please let them do that. Make the mess. That is the fun.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lovely experience, to see children eating with their own hands by the time they're 9 or 10 months old.
So foods should always be rich in nutrients and energy. Well, in addition to grains and potatoes, of course, you should include fruits which have fruits, vegetables, whole grains, seeds, nuts, Animal foods like dairy, eggs, meat, poultry, these are also very high in protein.
But dear, what if they start to spit out and they're not accepting? What to do
Yes,
then?
that happens very commonly. So whenever you introduce a new food and your baby is not accepting it, let it be. Try it another time. And you can also mix it with the food that they like, or probably squeeze in some breast milk over it. They'll definitely accept it.
Okay, that's a wonderful suggestion. On that note, can you tell us some basic do's and don'ts of feeding a child?
So, well, I would really like to tell you that we should never put solid food in a baby's bottle. It is, in spite of being a choking hazard, it is also a popular misconception that, when we put cereal in a baby's bottle, he tends to sleep throughout the night. Well, that's a myth. It never happens.
Okay.
And we should always supervise our babies when they're eating solid foods. They should sit upright.
Right,
They should
right.
look forward.
Right.
And it is, of course, less likely a choking hazard that way. And also it helps in swallowing.
Okay.
Toddlers should not be allowed to have food directly from the jar. We should take some of the content out with a spoon and keep it separately in a dish. Because when we do that, when we feed them directly from the jar, there is more likely the bacteria to be transferred from their mouth to the food into the jar.
Okay.
And then there can be a lot of infection in the area.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a very common mistake that we usually do.
Yes.
Yes, and also I would like to again mention that we should not feed honey to children who are less than 12 months old due to some foodborne diseases that they may face.
Okay.
Yes, and then softer textures of foods are always introduced to the infants when they start eating.
Right.
When we wean them off, we always introduce them with purees or mashed foods.
Right.
And as they develop motor skills and chewing skills,
Yes.
then we can introduce the solid foods as well.
Okay.
Well, in this case, the Woodwards Gripe Water can also be very effective in giving them relief from colic and gastric issues.
Okay. Now that you mentioned rice water, tell me something. Do we have to change quantities given to babies? Because there is so much of controversy that it contains alcohol. So just please tell us something about it.
Well, definitely not. You cannot change the quantity. You should not, of course.
Okay.
You can give the normal dosage as you were giving earlier to your babies.
Okay.
In winters, in summers, in any season.
Okay.
And it's a completely Ayurvedic solution, darling.
Right.
So, all the moms out there who are thinking that it has alcohol, to break that myth, it does not have any alcohol. Woodward's Gripe Water is completely alcohol free and it is completely safe to use.
Now let's discuss a little bit something about new moms. With respect to lifestyle changes, can you break some myths for us, for new moms?
Well, definitely. I would really want to break some myths here. So myth number one that is very common is that breastfeeding actually makes your breast saggy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, breastfeeding does not have to be blamed for that.
Okay.
Aging and your family's genetics play a major role. Then, hormonal changes and weight fluctuations during pregnancy also hamper that.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there's another myth, very common myth, every dadi nani tells us that, women or mothers, newborn babies, mothers who have just taken a shower or have wet their hair should not breastfeed them babies.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing
I've
is
heard that
related,
too.
yeah.
I've heard that too.
So nothing is related. The
Okay.
temperature difference actually makes the babies catch cold.
Okay.
And it is nothing related with their wetting of hair or their taking of showers.
Okay. Yeah, even I have heard, tell me if it is true that babies sleep better if they are formula fed. Is it true or is it a myth?
It's a myth.
Okay.
So when you feed your baby with the formula milk, then it's very hard to digest for the baby.
Alright.
So he sleeps for the longer time. And it's very easy to digest the breast milk, so he or she feels very hungry after short intervals of time. So our newborn mothers, what they do is that yes, please have this formula and sleep for a longer time, and then I'll breast milk. Give the breast milk after a while. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a myth.
Yes, it's a myth.
Tell us something, about a mom's nutritional needs, because, lactating mom, toddler mom, infant mom, we go through so many stages. So tell us, what is their nutritional requirement?
Well, there are a couple of points that all mothers should take care. Number one, they should always keep them hydrated.
Okay.
Drink at least 8 to 10 glasses of water. It can be fluids, it can be juices, fruit juices, milk, moms who are lactating, then milk is very good.
Okay.
And fruit juices and some other drinks that has jeera or
Okay.
chia seeds also helps. Now these moms, I know that you're always running around and you require the energy. Your bones should not crack, of course. So vitamin D is very, very important.
Okay.
Fatty fish like tuna, salmon, mackerel, egg yolks. Then there's paneer, yogurt, cheese, green leafy vegetables, and I really recommend ragi flour.
Okay.
So that is very important. It gives you a boost and
Right.
it also fulfills your vitamin D requirements.
Okay.
All the moms should also include 3 meals, major meals in their day, and 2 to 3 meals in the midday. So between the meals, I really recommend having pistachios or pumpkin seeds, makhanas as mid meals.
Okay.
And the 3 major meals should never be skipped, especially the breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay.
Yeah. So you should of course avoid all the high fat foods and the sugary foods. The mothers, yes, I know, love that a lot. The chocolates have to go out, all the marodis and the namkeens and the bakery items, biscuits, these have to go out of your diet.
Right. I think these are empty calories.
These are completely empty calories and they have very little nutritional value. Then of course you have to avoid alcohol and smoking.
Oh.
And crash dieting, yes.
Yes.
You should know what to eat, but you should not crash diet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know when kids start to reject food suddenly. Like my daughter used to relish dalia for some time and then she completely, started to detest it. Tell me something, some tips and tricks so that their health is not compromised.
A lot of mothers come to me with the same question. Well, thank you for asking me that. So I will give you some tips, alright? So number 1 is that mix cereals and mashed grains together with breast milk, formula or water to make them very smooth. It should be a smooth paste,
Okay.
right, before feeding your baby. Then the fruits and the vegetables need to be mashed or pureed, right? If they are hard like apples and carrots, they need to be cooked first.
Okay.
And you should cook them until the time when they can be mashed with a fork easily. So they should be smooth.
Perfect.
Right? Then you should remove all the skin and bones from all poultry like meat,
Yes.
fish before cooking them. That's very important. And also you should always remove the seeds and hard bits from fruits. Then cut them into small pieces.
Okay.
If the child, they can eat them themselves.
Yes. I think that's a big challenge, the fruits which have big seeds. I mean,
Yes.
that's something that we, resist giving to children.
Yeah. So you should remove the seeds and then feed them.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
You have shared some really good tips for new moms. Now tell me just 5 superfoods that are must for any new mom.
Well, number 1 is apricots and dates.
Okay.
They are rich in prolactin, which is a hormone that helps in production of milk.
Okay.
Then there's yogurt. Of course, I've talked about it earlier as well. It is rich in vitamin D and it's a good source of protein as well.
Okay.
So, while having Greek yogurt or normal ghar ka dahi, you get about 1000 mg of your required vitamin D in a day.
Okay.
Yeah. Then dalia. Dalia is super nourishing. It is good in fiber and it has a lot of antioxidants.
Okay.
Then amaranth.
Okay.
Amaranth is also a superfood. It is rich in phosphorus, iron, manganese, selenium, copper. All of these elements actually give you a lot of strength.
Okay.
And they also prevent the post-delivery hair loss that a lot of mothers face.
Yes.
So it's a superfood. Banana. So it is rich in pectin. It helps moderating the blood sugar levels and also aids in gut health. So it's a prebiotic. It supplies food to the good bacteria in your colon, and also the magnesium present in it that helps in fighting the postpartum depression, and it gives you strength, and it also helps in uplifting your mood.
I mean, who thought banana is such a super fruit?
Yes.
Well, it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much, Mrs. Sakshi, for sharing such insightful and informative things about, child nutrition, a mom's nutrition. I'm sure our viewers have some questions and queries as well. If you have them, please drop it in the comment section below, and we will be back with another informative session very soon.